Um, so like I said in my last video, I'm in the car now. Like I said last time, I'm kind of my arms are kind of skinny. But I'm kind of in the process of restarting self improvement this time, and and it's something I've done so far about 3 or 4 times. I originally got into self improvement, like really just started watching like him, so Andrew Tate, whatever, and I think I went a little weird with it, um, where it was like, um, where it was like I would really get into it, and then I would just stop because of whatever, like I'd fall off the habit, because my brother thought it was weird, like he caught me one time doing it, so I kind of stopped doing it, like meditation or something. He caught me doing meditation or whatever, or journaling or whatever may happen. Um, 1 or 2 times, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna chill out. I'm just not gonna do it for a few days so that he doesn't like get on, like, so he doesn't like bother me about it. And pretty much that wasn't good. Uh, Pretty much, I'm trying to like find what I'm trying to talk about here. Um, the idea is that I've started over a few times. Um, so I pretty much know how to do it by now, at least a little bit. And a large part of it is just latching on to hope, latching on to like the future, latching on to the idea that someday you will be better and someday you're going to thank yourself for this. And it's just it's that. And then at some point you gotta learn to love the journey. Um, that's something that I've really like become a big, like, it's been an issue with me, is that I've kind of been more um about the results of the journey, and it's about how it feels to just be in it. Um, you gotta love the journey, and if you don't love the journey, what are you even doing? I mean, like, because that eventually that becomes your life, is because you're never gonna be happy with just chilling out on the couch, like just doing whatever, and you're not striving for something. That's where happiness is. Like I said in my last video, it's like, where are your goals? Where are your priorities at that point? If you're not actively striving for something bigger than yourself. And I think there's something to be said about living a life without purpose, living a life without mission or goal. And that's kind of where I found myself every single time I've like thought, well, I need to start over. Um, I need to start getting into these habits. And what really this angle really is, so it doesn't matter. Um, but that's kind of really what got me into like is what kind of got me into meditating, was that I thought like, well, my mental health's been horrible. Like I thought back to that mindset where I was just like, what can I actually do about it? And that's, like I said, that's what I talked about last time, is that like that's how you got to think, is what can I do about my situation? Not why am I in this situation? Not I'm gonna keep it, but not like why am I in this situation, or why is it bad that I'm in this situation? It's about um like wanting to be better. It's genuinely about wanting to be better. And so the first time I started self improvement, it was probably late 2022, or I'd say late 2021 is when I got started in the gym. October 2021. In fact, I remember the exact day. October 26th, 2021 was when I first got in the gym. And then I kind of was wishy-washy about the gym. I wasn't really in there consistently until September 2022. And I remember exactly because I was watching him. So, um, it's this self-improvement YouTuber. He kind of sort of fell off recently. But I was watching this YouTuber, and he was talking about discipline, and it was about doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. And that kind of brought in my mind. It's like I've been thinking so much about what I feel like doing, and not what I actually need to do. So that was the first time I kind of started over. Like started over in that sense where I'd kind of fallen off consistency, and I was never really consistent in the first place. And that's when I got consistent. Was when I sort of realized that you have to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel it. And that was the first step. That was the first brick that I placed um in my self-improvement journey, was like learning that even when I don't feel like it, I still had to do it because it was something I had to do. Does that make sense? Um, and then there's also, what was I gonna say? No, there's not also, but so yeah, that was the first time, and that's what I learned from the first time of like starting over in that sense. Is like you have to do the work. You're not gonna grow. You're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna change. This is a raw talk, so I don't even say. Anyways, yeah, you're not gonna grow, and you're not gonna change if you're not doing what needs to be done. Uh, that was, like I said, that was the first brick. Sorry, I just got off track. That was the first brick in my like journey, was discipline. And then I was working out. I was working out a lot. Like often, I got a little bit like thinner. I felt a little bit better about myself, and I started meditating and journaling. And then I fell off of meditation and journaling, and I fell off of that kind of stuff. And then I was just kind of so on and off about it that I didn't start caring about it again until January of 2023. Until no, probably March of 2023. About 2 years ago, exactly to a year, 2 years and a month ago, pretty much. Um, is dang, where exactly was about where I kind of like started caring about it more. I started buying more books that I don't even know where they are. I really wish I still had them. But I read a lot of good books, and I listened to a lot of podcasts. I watched E-Man, Gadget a lot. And then that time it came out of necessity. A lot like this time. That hope to be better, that wish for money came out of like our lives had fallen apart. Uh, I might get into lore, I might get into life story at some point, but pretty much 2023 was when like mine, my mom's, and my brother's life kind of fell apart. And it was out of necessity. It was out of like, I hope that someday I can make it so this can never happen. And something that I think I did better that time was honestly placing an emphasis on knowledge. I figured that the more I knew about something, the better. And even if I wasn't immediately putting it in action, it was ruminating in my mind that I was just thinking. Like, and that's one big misconception about self-improvement, is that if you're consuming content like good content that's um what do you call it? Good content that's like educational or about self-improvement, like these videos. That's the conception, is that if you're reading and if you're watching videos like that, and you're not implementing it immediately, like you're not reading how to win friends and influence people, and then you're immediately going out and talking to somebody. If you're not immediately doing that, then you're failing and you're not making any progress. I think that that's garbage, because as soon as you learn something like, oh, people want connection, people want to feel important, whatever, like one of those concepts from like that book. as soon as you learn something like that, it plants the seed in your mind of like, oh, next time I talk to somebody, I'm gonna do this, that, you know what I mean? Just it plants that seed in your mind to start thinking. Um, and thinking, depending on how you utilize it, can be your worst enemy or your biggest ally. Um, pretty much. If you overthink negatively, then it can be your biggest enemy. It can ruin your relationships. It can ruin your life almost because you're gonna end up making decisions out of like fear, pretty much. And the more you allow yourself to think, and the more you allow yourself to organize your thoughts, like literally just like rifle through them. That's kind of why I talk to myself like this in my car or whenever I'm alone, is so that I can just organize my thoughts. And I find when I don't do that, that I'm almost like kind of unstable, where I just don't even know what I think. And it's great. It's great to just think. Like people say overthinking is like a bad thing, and it can be. Like I said, it very, very, very much can be. If if your mind is focused on negative things, and if you're constantly overthinking in a negative way, then obviously overthinking is bad because you are, to an extent, in fact, to one of the highest extents, I believe you are your thoughts. Your thoughts come through your mind and through your mouth. They come through your body language. They, like, literally your thoughts create you pretty much. They create your behavior almost. And the more positive thoughts you can have, but also the most like constructive thoughts. And sometimes you have to dig behind the the negative ones. Sometimes you have to dig behind the negative ones to get to the positive, like the constructive thoughts. And it's always something that I've done, which is just like, oh, I hate this, or I feel crappy about this. And then I eventually come to the conclusion of like, well, what if they're trying their best? I mean, what if like from their perspective it's this way? And a lot of the times that keeps you from being overly emotional. If you can seriously think about like, not everything in life serves to hurt me, not everything in life serves to help. Um, it's all about how you think about it. Like I said in my last video. Uh, but that was pretty much what I realized the second time that I started over um was that knowledge was something that I knew I wanted to seek out the because I'm very much like I want to be strong in the body and strong in the mind. And that's why I work out, that's why I meditate, that's why I'm starting to read again, that's why I'm starting to like build these habits because they're genuinely fulfilling. They genuinely like make me feel like a better man. And they make me a better man. Um and so pretty much that's what I learned was that knowledge was incredibly important and that it can be incredibly important to anybody. Because like I said, it allows you to think about things in a different light. It puts things that you've been struggling with into a different perspective. And even if the information you learn isn't directly applicable to your situation, you can kind of twist it and be like, well, if that is, then this must be, you know, I think therefore I am. Like it's drawing conclusions from incomplete sets of data. It's extrapolating. Where you're like, turn this air conditioner down. That's the hottest I think. So, um, but yeah, so it's all about, it's literally, that's what I love, was that it's mostly about what you know and wishing to know. Um, and then I think after that, 2023, 2024, the entire year of 2024, I pretty much was not off stuff. Um, I fell off again. I didn't have the time, I didn't have the space, and I didn't have the resources necessary to to start self-proof again. Um, So I was just kind of stuck. I was stuck in my books. I was stuck in my Bible, and I didn't really read that much. I didn't read as much of my Bible as I wanted to. 2024 was an okay year. It was a good year for my life, but it wasn't a good year for my self-improvement journey. Cause not a lot got done other than that I got bigger. Well, I got stronger. That was something, that was something big was that I got leaner and I got stronger. And then I went into wrestling and I got skinny. And then now we're here and I'm starting over again. And something that I'm learning this time, the most important thing that I'm learning this time is that it's literally, it's about purpose, kind of. It's about finding what you want to do and doing, and making sure that you don't let what other people think of you kind of stop, if that makes sense. Cause like a lot of the times I would try to do these like online businesses and I would try to start up my own kind of thing during these self-improvement, restarts. And I would do stuff like this. I would do this kind of YouTube channel. I would think about it, and then I'm like, well, what happens when Dylan finds the videos, and or what happens when whoever finds the videos? It's like, dude, what I'm talking about might be corny. Some of the meditation stuff, like it's weird. Like a lot of it may seem weird, but it helps. It helps people. It's helped me, and I'm tired of pretending like I should be ashamed of the things that have helped me and ashamed of the things that help other people. Because the what I've come to realize is that anybody who anybody who knocks you down is more often than not doing better than you. A lot of times they're doing worse than you. A lot of times you're doing something that they've always been too scared to do. A lot of the times you're smarter, you're funnier, you're quicker, you're stronger than them, whatever it may be. A lot of times that's the case. And a lot of the times they just don't like themselves, even if they seem like they're doing better than you, because nobody who likes themselves and they're doing better than you is gonna make you feel crappy for trying to do better. And no kind of real brother, no kind of real friend is gonna make you feel crappy for trying to be better through any means. Um, unless they just get too much in themselves and it makes them feel bad about how they're not trying. And that's something that I've kind of like come to realize is that it's literally just um it's a shame that some people don't they don't have the capacity to feel happy for others. They don't have the capacity to be like, hell yeah, man, you're killing. And I used to think I didn't have that capacity. Um but recently I realized I do. When I started helping people, when I started feeling good about myself, especially when I started feeling good about myself, especially when I started feeling good about myself. That's when I discovered my capacity for loving other people and for loving what they're doing and how they're trying to grow and helping them. Because that's always been something that I've been passionate about is helping people. I've always taught people math. I've always taught people like how to do the English stuff in school. I've always like taught people and I've always been kind of a leader. Like that's just my personality. That's how I was raised, used to be a leader. Um, but oh my gosh, this turned like crappy. But anyways, like I said, that's just how I was raised. Um, so I kind of felt that capacity, and it's youth. Everybody has that capacity. They just a lot of times people don't want to. Anyways, this video's get kind of long. Uh, I think I want to end it here. Because I think I've spoken my mind a good amount. Uh, pretty much three things you want to take away from this video. It's about doing it when you don't feel like it, doing the hard work when you don't feel like it. Um, it's about uh what did I say for the second one? It's about knowledge. It's about knowing things. It's about the pursuit of higher thinking, and it's about the pursuit of more thinking, like not less, you know. And then the third one is it's not necessarily about not giving a crap, not giving a care what people think, because that's everybody gives that advice and it never works. It's about realizing that if if those people were really your friends or were really your family, like actually like they loved you in that kind of way, that they could see past themselves and their own iniquities, uh, then they would love what you're doing. Um, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to be better. And doing anything you can to be. That's not a sign that you're a weirdo or strange. It's a sign that you're trying. And wanting to be better is the most important thing possibly do. All right. See ya.